Hi guys, my name is Umar Kiani. I am the inventor of Identilock. I remember looking back in the window, a boom, a flash, and the next I remember is spitting a bullet out of my mouth. I'm a gunshot survivor. Had the bullet been a millimeter in a different direction, I wouldn't be here today. Even with the trauma and handicap that that event caused, I'm the lucky one. There are thousands of children who die because of unlocked guns. Would you believe that every single gun sold in America ships with a lock? Then why does this continue to happen? It's because gun owners can't get quick access to traditional trigger locks and safe. So they choose to keep it unlocked, loaded, hidden around the house. Imagine, so the fastest safe that I was able to find took 5 seconds before I was ready to shoot. Now imagine if it took you 5 seconds to unlock your car before you could brake. It's just an unrealistic solution. I'm an NRA member, a gun owner, but most importantly, I'm a parent of 3 young children. I have a decade of experience designing safety systems for automotive. Now, I've dedicated my experience to saving lives in a different way. What's glaringly clear from the President's initiative is that gun safety hasn't evolved in a long time. It's time to re-engineer and introduce it to the digital age. Today, I present to you Identilock. Identilock is an interesting blend of software, material science, and electrical engineering. It uses industry's most advanced fingerprint technology, similar to iPhone, and unlocks a gun in under a second. It also uses NASA's Mars rover technology to create a robust latching mechanism, which can withstand hundreds of pounds of force and give us a year's worth of battery life. What's awesome is that we've been able to engineer all these capabilities at an attractive price point of $319. To put that in context, a gun costs about $700, a holster upwards of $50, an electronic safe ranges between $150 to $6,000. A good accessory, a light or a laser, can range between $300 to $400. Coupled with this data and our strong demand from the consumer, discussion with the retailers and distributors underscores our confidence. And we make an attractive profit when at volume at this price. Now, unfortunately, CES wouldn't allow us to bring a gun to the show. So we'd have to demo this. So we'll have to demo this in a live product and a video. So the live product. So go ahead. So see, Patrick is not enrolled in this device. I am. It's that quick. As you'll see in the video. See, Identilock can store multiple fingerprint, and it's pretty versatile. You can change between guns, and all we have to do is ship you another insert. We're already at about 75% of handguns, and we will have majority of the guns covered when we ship you the product in summer this year. We've already been recognized by the market. We are the top awardees of Smart Tech Foundation, which is an initiative by Ron Conway. We're also the only VC-funded gun safety tech startup in the country. Plus, our advisors include people from the top gun brands like Cabela's and Remington. There are 4.5 million guns sold every year. We'll be targeting the 2 million through the gun shops initially. I believe, for me, this is not just a business opportunity, it's a mission. I know the technologies exist to defeat gun violence. It starts here today. We're the first company, first startup ever that's focused on gun safety to exhibit at CES. That's a national milestone. We can defeat gun violence, and it starts today. Our pre-orders are open, and we'll be shipping the device in summer. Thank you so much.
All right, big round of applause. Identilock. Go ahead. What's up, Rob?
I'm also glad you didn't bring it in for the demo. Yeah. But I would say that the way that you present it was well done for not showing it physically here. Two quick questions.
Sure.
One is, how durable is it? Because it looks like it drops away each time you use it.
So we went with a polymer just because of that reason, because if we would have gone with metal, the impact is harder. So it is very durable.
And two, could you talk a bit more about your plan for distribution to reach the gun shops? Because my understanding is that's a pretty fragmented industry.
True.
So how do you plan to reach them and to be able to build scale in that channel?
1 week after this, we will be able to bring the gun, because it's the SHOT Show. That's the biggest exhibition on the planet for guns. So we are exhibiting there. We've already reached out to others. So the plan is that there's 900 gun stores in the US. Our target is 450 stores we will visit personally with the whole team next year, or I'm sorry, this year. Did I answer your question? Okay.
Great work.
Thank you.
So obviously this is top of mind as a topic within pop culture, which is what's happening within our world. A couple of questions. Are you thinking about a holster so that you could actually carry it around? I'm thinking ahead to like a law enforcement type of situation where it could be easily accessible through a holster, but then still be able to have the ability to have it pop off as you showed in the demo.
Definitely. Consider this an MVP.
Okay.
Right? The technology, access control technology exists to make it even faster. So right now the idea is to build a brand initially, because this is not a typical tech industry. It's a unique, like he mentioned, a very fragmented industry. You need to establish the brand, and that's when. So for example, law enforcement has requested some certain features of connectivity. That might not appeal to the majority of the consumers in this industry.
Got it. And just to build upon the law enforcement piece, what is some of the feedback or what are some of the features they're asking for?
Law enforcement has asked for connectivity. They'd want to know when the device was open. For example, here in Nevada, police officers are not allowed to open or draw their weapon. So they would want to track stuff like that. And there's a whole lot of features that you can see in other applications here, but would be very useful in this particular industry.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a good presentation.
Thank you.
Beginning of the presentation sure grabbed our attention, I'll tell you that. That was quite a story. So, we all tech lovers here, and we're all believers in the power of technology to change the world, but the reality is that this is a very specific market, right? And there are people who are almost viciously opposed to this, to technological progress. Wasn't that story? Don't you have a German competitor called Armatics, and the first gun retailer that said that they were going to retail got death threats and had to barricade himself? Is that right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So it's almost like you need to Rob's question about distribution, that you need to build like a network of missionary gun dealers, right? It's a lot more than marketing.
So that's the brilliance of this idea. What I've in essence done is created a smaller safe. There's safe sold already. There's biometric safes, keypad safe, everything. It's the speed. The key value in is the speed and mobility. So
is that really the question? That's
yes,
my whole point.
Because
is that a question of, is it a technology question, or is that how you build a beachhead of a whole movement, whole national mission around this?
So let me ask you in a different way. Would you want a startup that has never done anything related to automotive mess around with your brakes? No. But if it was another keyless entry system, it's not so much of a big deal, right? So in our case, we've created an accessory. And by the way, we have feedback from gun stores and plenty of gun users that they want this. We have orders coming in. Our conversion rate is much higher than we expected. We had told our manufacturer we're going to have this many units shipped this year. I'm definitely sure we're going to have to change that.
I also thought it was a great presentation,
Thank you.
and I haven't seen anything like this, so I'm really excited for you guys. I'm not terribly familiar with the market, but I was curious about, are there any regulatory restrictions on products that go into this market? Does anyone check these products? I'm curious if there's any sort of barriers to getting the product in people's hands.
So if you had seen the other gun locks, you would already know that there's pretty much nothing. Some states, for example, California and Massachusetts have some laws, but other than that, there's not. And those regulatory tests are done by a third party, which is, I would describe them in essence, a drop test.
Other questions? Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Wow, good job.
Thank you.
Identilock. Goodness gracious. All right. Our third... Did like a full spin there. I don't know what's wrong with me. I've had nothing to drink but coffee either. So, Glance Clock. We're getting ready to bring them up, but I want to talk to you guys a little bit more about Identilock. You seem, Matt, you seem to be like real, not against it, but a little hesitant. Can we talk a little bit more about that?
No, so to be clear, so I'm all in favor of anything that can make an impact on this obviously gigantic problem. So I think this is great. No, it was more a question of good, almost go-to-market and marketing, right? It's a product. It's hard enough to sell a product in this world, right? Just to get people's attention. It becomes even harder if you have a huge part of the country that's viciously opposed to what you're doing.
You're talking about just guns in general?
Yeah,
when you're talking about viciously opposed?
Yeah, and viciously may not be the right term, but adamantly opposed to what you're doing. I mean,
to having guns at all, but like if you...
Because you get into the world of you're and I'm not a gun owner, and but you disempower people, you take away some liberty attached to a gun through this technology solution, and people feel very strongly against that. And the example that I mentioned, this company Aromatics, where the first guy who said I'm going to sell this product in the U.S. territory had to hide in his basement so that he wouldn't get shot. I mean, it's a whole different dimension. So I was curious about how they thought about it.
I'm still confused though about what you're talking about. So you're talking about people who are against the ownership of guns? Or are you talking about gun enthusiasts who are against the idea of having a lock on their gun?
The latter.
The latter. But don't you think that if you are a gun enthusiast, you want safety, but the reason that you don't use a safe or a lock is because it takes the speed away, which is what this solves, right?
I think from conversations that there is something much more deeply rooted. This is the logical, smart, intellectual analysis. I think there's something much, absolutely. I think there's something that's much more emotional, deeply rooted about owning a gun and what you are allowed or not allowed to do, and what level of liberty and control you have over your gun. But
okay, and you seem really interested in the whole law enforcement play.
Yeah, I just thought it was really interesting because, the entrepreneur spoke to the fact that law enforcement wants to be able to track when guns are pulled out, right? So I think this can actually, there's a lot of data that we can have as a result that may actually help us with some of the issues that we're seeing in society right now.
I agree, and I think also your GV part of you is thinking selling things to the government makes a lot of money, right? Am I right about that?
And the one quick thing I would say is I think the price point is probably the biggest challenge, because when you're selling something like this and you're comparing it to maybe a little master lock cylinder that you would put in to keep the trigger from going, although you can't get at it quickly, it's only about $20, $30, maybe $40. So do you buy another gun if you're a gun owner already? Do you spend it on other things, or do you spend it on this level of safety? So I think that puts a bit of a governor on the market size relative to the number of guns that are sold each year. So that's just from the business building side.
I agree with that. I also think, though, that he makes a good point in the fact that people are spending so much money on guns, right? Like, whether it be accessories or what have you, people are investing a lot of money in their gun enthusiasm. All right, let's move on.